Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for giving in your introductions already. Now we kickstart today's webinar on how to become a technology law expert. Well, this will be quite interesting hour and a half journey. I request you any time of point you guys find anything monotonous, you need a timeout, you need a break, please put it on the chat box. I want you to consider this 1.5 hour webinar to be like a show how we see on Netflix or on Prime, like we are stuck in front of our screens for hour and a half. However, the moment this particular webinar starts getting boring or monotonous, I know people will start leaving. So I'll make sure that this doesn't go boring, because guys, law and technology, these two are the most interesting areas to work with. And I'm not going to be giving a lot of theoretical knowledge today. I'm going to be giving a very practical expertise here today as per my experiences. I'm going to give my introduction as well. But it's so nice to see so many people here. Somebody's from Chennai, somebody's from Delhi, somebody's from Rajasthan, Nagpur. This shows that there is a demand, there is a hunger amongst people to navigate the law and technology space in India as well. Indeed, this is growing. However, it needs a lot of discussion. So today, think of it like I want to hear from you. How many of you are ready to be here with me on this journey? Because I have two surprises towards the end for you. And I'm not going to reveal what's the surprises, because then what's the point of giving a surprise? I want to hear how many people here will be with me. Just start writing, like Mohammed Fayazan Ahmed has said, me. You can also start writing me. Great. I love the enthusiasm amongst everyone. I want you to be, get comfortable. If you're in your room, maybe in your living room, maybe you're in a coffee shop, grab a nice cup of tea or coffee or iced tea or water or nothing, whatever works best for you. Grab some snacks as well, like we do on Netflix. Think of this as your, today's entertainment. I mean, generally we go on Netflix, we're very excited. Game of Thrones new episode is coming, and now there's so many new seasons coming in for so many shows, and we get excited. Oh my God, new episode is coming in. But today, I want you to bring in the same energy and enthusiasm for this. But the only difference between Netflix and Loctopus's webinar is you get to interact with the person who's speaking on the screen. So yes, I am a real person and you can speak with me. There will be like a small meet and greet session towards the end where you get to talk with me. I mean, it's not like you're looking at the screen and done. I want you to remember this as an experience for a very long time. I know there's a lot of motivation going in, guys. However, it'll be very boring if I don't put in these words. And honestly, I have been in your shoes so many times. And trust me, I leave webinars 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, done. But the webinars which has a story, the webinar which keeps me awake, the webinar which is like a journey, that is something which I personally look forward for. So trust me, I'm not going to bore you. I'm not going to be monotonous, but I want a lot of engagement from you all. So here are a few rules which I'm going to put down here for today's webinar. Number one is, if you have a query, now what is query? My voice is not audible, my screen is not looking, there's a lag coming in, then my screen is breaking, I'm frozen, put that on the chat box. You're not able, technical issue, any glitch going on, just put it on the chat. If you have a question, no, see, we'll be doing a Q&A round towards the end for sure. But I understand during the webinar, a question can strike you. So I don't want you to forget that question towards the end. You can simply use the Q&A box right here. Everyone can see the Q&A box down below. Just write your question there and I'll see to it as I feel. Maybe I can address the question during the live session, or I'll try to, take it with other people towards the end. But this webinar would be quite interesting. We'll be starting with it. So I have break it down in few parts. First, we'll be doing like, in talking about law and technology, how these technology works. And then towards the end, we will be doing like a career planning session. And within that career planning session, we will be doing a Q&A as well. All right. And of course, the surprises are on its way, guys. So stay tight. Let's begin. Awesome. Awesome. Can everyone see my screen? Just give me a yes or no on the chat box. Can you guys see my screen? And is my voice audible? Just say yes and yes. Great. Yes, yes, yes. Great. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. So welcome to webinar by Loctopus Law School. What is Loctopus Law School? I'm sure you all know. The only aim of Loctopus Law School is to have informed and inspired careers. As mentioned in the original slide, that is Loctopus. Of course, Loctopus is OG. Who doesn't know Loctopus? But the only intention of building in Loctopus Law School was to educate law students or the legal fraternity with the topics that are not discussed in universities or in the colleges. Awesome. Not going to talk too much about this. Don't worry. What's the webinar's topic? For a few of you who are just here for the sake of it, let me remind you, the topic for today is how to be a technology law expert. Guys, it's very hard to accumulate in hour and a half that, okay, now I'm an expert. And honestly, I can talk for months and years about how you can become a technology law expert. But today, I'm going to be giving a very realistic outlook on how you can actually be this person right here, right? Awesome. Know your speaker. As you can see, there are a few images right here. Somebody is smirking, somebody has like a big, there's a woman who has a big mouth here. There's a man who is trying to say a lot of things. Well, yeah, I am your speaker here for today. My name is Ashna Sethi. Currently, I work as content and learning manager at Loctopus Law School. I'm also a faculty at Loctopus Law School for technology law courses. Hence, it makes sense why I'm doing this webinar on technology law. A little bit about me. I have done my bachelor's in law, of course, and then I've done my LLM, that is Master's in Law and Technology from the University of Ottawa, Canada. Canada is part of North America. I'm sure most of you know Ottawa is the capital city of Canada. Well, yeah, my final thesis was blockchain as evidence in courts. And that's what inspired me to navigate that part of the world to finish my education. I mean, it gave me good exposure. However, I still feel the knowledge which I was able to accumulate in my 5 years of law school, that was more than enough. So it's fine if you don't want to go for an LLM. LLM is mostly for people who want to build their career into academia or who want something research intensive or get into consultancy as well. Apart from that, I speak a lot, as you guys can see. I mean, I'm going to be speaking for an hour and a half. So yeah, bear with me for that. I love coffee. I love exploring new things. I love nature. Hence, it makes sense why Goa is my favorite city in the world. So, of course, guys, if you feel you want to share your favorite city, please use the chat box. Anytime you can just use the chat box for anything interesting you want to share with me. Awesome. Now, what is law and technology? Let me hear from you. Just attempt in one line or two, what do you think is law and technology? Just use the chat box. What is law and technology? It can be one word, it can be 2 words, it can be one liner. What do you feel is law and technology? See, you're here today, of course, you know some idea, you have some knowledge of what is law and technology. Let's hear from you. Guys, please attempt. I mean, I don't want this to be a one-sided webinar where only I am speaking. Virendra Kumar says, use of ICT in judiciary, privacy law. Guys, anytime I'm not pronouncing your name correct, just pause there and give the right pronunciation. Bear with me for that. Great. So that's just one answer till now. But guys, please keep giving me your insights. What do you think is law and technology? What as per you? Let's hear more from you. Guys, just attempt. It's fine. There are chances you may go wrong, and that's why I'm here. Law is about regulations, then technology is the use of ICT in law. A lawyer who deals on the issues of legal field based on technology, IT Act 2000, law and technology is the interface between two sectors, legal and IT industry. Great answer, guys. Anupriya, Virendra Kumar, Sachin Thong, Margaret. Great. Guys, law and technology. Now I'm going to be giving this definition twofold. What is law? Conventional definition, law is a command of sovereign backed by sanction. We all know, we all read about this in our first semester of our law schools. For those of you who have, who have graduated for a while, must be figuring out like, why is she giving such bookish definition? But guys, this one's for the first semester. First semester students, we owe it to them. They are just stepping into the, legal world. So yeah, that is law, guys. But what is law in mainstream world? Law is simply a set of rules and regulations, directives, made by the society or the government so that there is a decorum in the society, so that the society is actually a society. You know what I mean? So law, you can say, is a directive or principles to which every citizen in a particular state have to abide by. Law means law. That's what we say, right? Law means once I have said the word that this, like, I know a lot of people joke around it. Oh, is it a law? Like, when in our universities as well, if a professor would say something, we'll say, why don't you make this in a law? And then, we might follow it, like when it comes to attendance or something. But guys, yeah, this is law in very layman terms. So for those of you who are tech professionals or entrepreneurs attending this webinar, this one's for you. Law is very simply set of rules and regulations which any and every individual or a citizen in the society have to abide by. What is technology? Making the man works easier. So few years back, a man wanted to travel, ship was made. How was ship made? Using the technology. Few more years down the line, man wanted to travel quicker. Airplanes were made. Now man wanted to travel even more quicker. Bullock carts were made. Guys, you must be thinking, how is bullock cart? It's tech. Guys, it was engineered. Somebody's brain worked so that a cart was made that one person can travel from one city to another city. Hence, cars were made. Now, driverless cars are being made. So you understand why I'm giving the evolution of traveling. Our traveling becomes easier. Like decades and decades. I was centuries ago, man wouldn't think that, they can travel from the Americas towards the South Asia. But now sky is the limit. People are going to Mars. And that's why our life has become so much easier. If you look at smartphone, the power of smartphone has changed the world exponentially. And so has the social media. Everything is technology, guys, whether it's social media, your smartphone, you must be, there's a big taboo when it comes to technology and law. A lot of people. So I will be giving, bits, career advices and bits and pieces today as well during the webinar. Lot of people feel, oh, I am not technologically sound. I can't be a technology lawyer. Oh, you need a BTech or a BCA, like a Bachelor's of Computer Administration or Bachelor of Technology degree to become a technology lawyer. No and no. You're using the laptop today. You're here learning everything online. Guys, you are technologically sound. And I'm sure thanks to the modern day privilege that we have today, we are able to use our smartphones. We have nice as laptops. We have so many things, so many, gadgets to use. So you are technologically sound. You're not dumb. Any and every lawyer can become a technology lawyer. And in a way, we have transitioned into become a technology lawyer. When? Now you must be thinking, what is she saying? How? We are not technology lawyers. Well, for those of you who are doing litigation right now, and for those of you who are not, you must be aware of this, that when pandemic had hit, the courts went online. There was e-courts going on everywhere in the world because the pandemic was brutal, but crime had to be resolved, right? Anyways, our courts takes forever to solve the cases. Think of it during the pandemic. What if the courts were closed forever? For a year or two. How will the crime be tackled? That's why courts went online. Judges, lawyers, age-old judges, age-old lawyers, like 70 plus, 75 plus, started using Zoom suddenly, started doing everything online, started preparing e-contracts. Now, do you see how quickly the society emerged from being a conventional court, doing hours and hours of paperwork, to suddenly switching to e-contracts, to suddenly going to the courts online? Do you see how fast a human mind can be engineered to become technologically sound? Yes, so that's what I say. Each one of us are, in a way, legal tech experts in some way or other. I mean, I'm going to talk about a lot of barriers and all here today, which we think, because few people said that, it's IT, it's ICT, it's access to criminal justice, it's, soft law. A lot of people feel that technology law is about spreading awareness amongst legal awareness. But, there is we do get a lot of questions around how is law and technology, conjoined together? How does the parallel works? So guys, anytime a technology comes in the society, now imagine Tesla has started making its driverless cars. Now, if there is no law around it, if there are no ethics around it, if there is no substandards or licensing procedures around it, think of the rate of how, to what extent these people can exploit these tech companies, especially the big tech companies. If there are no standards or guidelines or procedures or any licensing put forward by the government or by the authorities or by the government officials, to what extent these tech companies can exploit the society. So in order to bring in the order amongst these tech companies, the law and technology started booming up. Because lately, I would say the kind of development our society has seen between 2010 to 2020, it is way more than what we saw between 1960 to 2010. Do you see the sudden boom in the technology space? Especially after the pandemic, if you see the number of fintech companies, fintech means companies that are using finance and technology together. After 2020, our country has seen 2,000 to 3,000 startups coming in, especially in fintech in the country. And this is just one type of technology. So you see, why are you here today? The demand is skyrocketing. And guys, any technology company that opens up in our country, or doesn't matter what part of the world. Now I'm going to be talking, I can talk about global as well, but let's save it for the career section. So let me try to reiterate and given the Indian perspective here today. So if you see, there's so many companies coming up, especially in the tech space. We most of us saw Shark Tank, right? We saw the number of tech companies booming in. But do you think that each of them can get permission just like that? I mean, these entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs, they just fill random, circulars, pages, and they get funding. No and no. Guys, law is involved everywhere. If you want to start a company, the Companies Act applies. You're hiring someone, the contracts are being made, the Contract Act arrives. If you're committing a crime, IPC involves, IT Act involves. There's so much going on. So, of course, these companies need a legal counsel like you, need a legal expert like you who can deal with all this. Guys, the thing is, if these startups, these tech startups, I know most few of you are hearing about words like Web3, NFTs, I'll be talking a little about it. The amount of work they have to put in when they raise funds. I'm sure you know what is funding of fundraiser means. That a particular company is raising funds so that they can expand their operations in the particular country where they're raising the funds in. How many, to what level the documents are needed to get those funds. It's immense. And this is why the relationship of law and technology conjoins together, so that there is order, there's law and order amongst technology. But there is another side to law and technology, that is legal tech. And this is not what the webinar is exactly about. Legal tech means that it's in a way, legal tech is a very small part of the law and technology space. Legal tech is simply whatever work you were doing legally, technology got added and it made your life simpler. For example, e-contracts or smart contracts. Now, e-contracts, there's also e-signatures that have come up. So all this is legal tech. We are searching our cases online, like using Manupatra, using softwares that are using artificial intelligences for your case search or for your research paper, for your articles. Any and every scholarship that is using AI is also legal tech. So anywhere where conventional means of law started using technology is legal tech. So apparently that is what a legal tech expert exactly is. But this is a very narrow outlook, I must say. So anyone calling, anyone who knows how to form a e-contract, calling themselves a legal tech expert, it's very inadequate, I must say. You need to understand technologies and law. To be a technology law counsel means you need to know what is technology, like not the entirety of it, but the basics of it. Becoming a legal tech expert is very different than becoming a law and technology expert, right? So, but automatically, if you're a law and technology expert, you become a legal tech expert as well, because it's much more simpler, it's much more convenient, right? Because if you know a broad term, if you know like a broader terminologies, then understanding these small narrowed down fields will be much easier for you, right? Awesome. What are disrupting technologies? Anyone, can anyone see what are these images except for the AI? I know all. Anyways, you can just try. If you can see on my screen, what are these technologies that I have added the graphics for? Can anyone tell me? Blockchain, hacking, drastic change from the status quo. That's one outlook. Second last is for privacy, technologies that will change our ways of future drastically, data privacy. Let's get more answers, guys. Come on. Online frauds, viewer discretion. Okay. Anyone else who wishes to try? I won't be able to see the chat box once I start speaking. So do you want to try? Okay, I think that's about it. Great. So for those of you who tried to give it a shot, good. For those of you who didn't, that's fine. It's all right. But I don't know. Oh, I got one artificial intelligence. Great. Awesome. But guys, if you are not responding, I'm assuming you're not super excited for the webinar because I really want engagement. And guys, your cameras are off. So don't worry. I mean, I'm not going to judge you if you're giving a wrong answer. I see Neil's answer. Guys, we have two accurate answers here. Neil and Mohammed Faizan Ahmed. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. That's actually perfect. But face vision, one. So there's one technology which none of you were able to detect. That was, so the second one, can everyone see my arrow as well? Just let me know yes or no. You can see my arrow like this, what I'm able to highlight? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Cool. Wow. Never mind. Thanks. All right. So blockchain, data privacy, artificial intelligence. This here is facial recognition. Maybe I didn't add the right graphic, I think. Metaverse, no, it's not here actually. Yeah, I mean, it can be in a way metaverse. Like all of it is in a way metaverse. So yeah. Anyways, now let's start talking about it. Cool. What are these disrupting technologies? These technologies, which I just added like few graphics here, is the sheer introduction to how the technological space looks like. Just imagine you're knocking at the door and the door is yet to open, and these four technologies pop up. However, there are hundreds of technologies lying back behind that door. And to all these technologies, of course, the companies are also opening up. Technology is a booming area. I mean, of course, in India, every fourth or fifth person wants to be an engineer. And I must say, seventh or eighth person are engineers. When we are born, our parents want us to become engineers. So you can see how many engineers are coming in. But guys, trust me, it might sound delusional today. But once my utopian philosophical thinking would be true, where the moment a child is born, the parent will say, oh, become a technology lawyer. You have to become a technology lawyer, because if technology is booming, so will the technology law. these technological, technology entrepreneurs or engineers are incomplete without lawyers or legal counsel like you guys. I call each one of you legal tech expert here today. So consider yourself as a legal technology professional while we are, stepping up into the next part of the webinar, because now you know what is law and technology. Now let's see what are these disrupting technologies. So this technology is dynamic. It's not like law. Most of you know, once a law is made, it's very rigid. Making an amendment, it's very hard. However, we have precedents, we have government's directives, circulars coming in if anything has to be changed or if any new interpretation comes in. But tech is not like that. We see, I mean, if you have an Android or Apple, you can see how quickly the updates come in. Law is not like that, guys. That is why these tech professionals get confused when they see law. Oh my God, your law is so vague. But law is not vague. Law can be interpreted as it is, as especially if you see the precedents. There are so many laws that are archaic. However, if you see the kind of judgments that our courts are giving in, we do get shocked as learners or as law students or law professionals that courts adapt to the technology very easily. It's just about interpretation. Sometimes it may get delayed, but it does. I mean, outside India, a lot of these people are hired as legal technology subject matter experts by the courts, like blockchain experts or AI experts who have the knowledge of both AI and law as well. Not in India as of now, so that these people can tell the judges, oh, what is the technology and what is the law. Then they can give their judgment accordingly, especially for the jury system that is prevalent in the US. Awesome. Now I'm not going to talk about blockchain here because I'll be talking about blockchain in the next slide here. Blockchain is very, and it always has a soft corner in my heart because I wrote my thesis on it. But let's talk about these three technologies here. Let's talk about facial recognition technology. What is facial recognition technology? I'm going to give you a small demo here. This is my phone. I'm just going to do this and done. I didn't type anything and my phone is open. As you can see, my phone is open. So this particular piece of gadget saw my face and now it opened it again. So just screening my face, my eyes, my nose, my facial features, it got me into this system. What is this system? Who created the system? Of course, engineers. Heavy codes were put in so that this particular technology can be put forward. However, countries like China are now using facial technology for more things. They're screening people. You're entering a mall, you're entering a cinema hall, you're entering any shop. The moment you enter airports, they start screening your face. Now, why is it a threat? Ethical use, guys. If your face is getting screened, there are a lot of discrepancies coming in around that side. So a lot of these facial screenings are also a subject of threat for racial discrimination, which is not prevalent in India, but in a way, yes. If you see countries like US and Canada, after the George Floyd case, where a black man was brutally killed by two white police officials in broad daylight, so there was a lot of chaos happened, a lot of riots happened, and this was amidst of a pandemic. So these people who were creating the riots started getting their screening, and a lot of the AI, the artificial intelligence that was put in the facial screening started getting issues. So there was a lot of tech issues coming in and wrongful arrests were happening. So just imagine how one innocent person can be behind the bars thanks to the facial recognition technology. And think of it, how much information, like we don't, if you see, this is also in a way surveillance on us. Are we safe? Do we really want every, this particular entity, this particular, I don't know, you call it an organization, country, whatever, to have eyes on you always? No, we don't want that. And hence, law is required here. Laws are made so that the ethics of the facial recognition technology stays. Like, you don't know when you enter the mall, I'm sure most of you have seen, it starts taking your face and then it starts taking your temperature as well. Do you guys think that they're capturing your face? They are actually. We don't know what's going to happen with our face. How is our data getting protected? Now I'm talking about data privacy now, which is the I. We don't want this eye to be on us all the time. And this is a very heavy technology that has empowered the whole world, especially country like India, where highest users of social media, um, 13, 14-year-old minors are using social media. They are selling products, they are becoming influencers. But what about their safety? What about this data? What's happening with the data? Who's taking care of data? Who is using this data to what capacity? This is why we need law, guys, here. Anytime a technology comes in, it brings in threat. And the only way to tackle threat is using a legal professional or using a legal guideline. But these directive and principles have to arrive, and they are not arriving, and hence these companies hire people like you, so that God forbid if any law comes in, they are safe. You know that what Facebook did, it got so there was this case called Cambridge Analytica case. So this was like so they used to collect data. So they collected data from Facebook, and they took users preferences, and then during when Trump won, they took all the data and utilized it in a way that all the Trump supporters were shown Hillary Clinton's offbeat videos or wrong videos, or that she's a bad person, targeted ad audience. And specifically, this particular act done by Cambridge Analytica involving Meta, called Facebook, it impacted United States of America's elections, which is considered to be one of the most powerful countries in the world. If it can affect that and make person like that a president, think of it, what it can do to this side of the world, that is South Asia. And privacy law, unfortunately, was taken back by the government, the meaning that it was incomplete. And they have said that a new privacy law would be coming in the coming 2023 winter session. But guys, it took the government 5 years to frame that privacy law, which they just withdrew from the parliament last month, I'm sorry. So these disrupting technologies keep coming in, whether it's, and now let's come to artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? It's basically making the technology smarter. So whatever minds of how humans work, we are adding that intelligence. So the code is becoming everything here. So the code is being inputted into this technology so that it works like a brain of mind. Brain of a man. So as you can see here, there's a robot. Instead of a brain, it has word called AI here. So this is what artificial intelligence is. But to what level can AI be used? What are the ethical uses of it? What are the unethical uses of it? How can it exploit the society? To what extent can we use AI? Is there a stop to the AI? What are the philosophical attributes to the AI? How does it affect the norms and the directives of this society? See, this is where a legal professional will be needed. You will be needed here. I see a few chats coming in. Yeah, so Riddhi says, why the term disruptive technology? Is it due to such ethical threats? Disrupting technology, I'm so sorry, guys, if I confused you guys at any point, but disrupting means new technologies, new age technologies, which we didn't hear back. Like 20 years before, nobody would know what is Bitcoin or what is NFT. So disrupting means something which is catching up fast but has threats attached to it. Guys, any technology, anything that comes in has a threat to it. That's why these people are doing SWOT analysis, that is strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. This conventional SWOT analysis has been there forever, and we do it for all kinds of technologies. But why I say disrupting technology here, because these technologies are taking up like anything, they're skyrocketing. And there's another technology called driverless cars, which is like, if I start talking about technologies, trust me, one webinar won't be enough. But you can definitely navigate into different kind of technologies once I'm explaining you these basics. Now you must be asking yourself that, do I need to understand the entirety of this technology? Like, what is AI? How does it work? What are the codes that are built in? Guys, no. The only thing that you need to know about these technologies is the basic of technology. You don't have to know that, oh, how does it work? What are the codes? What are Python, Java, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't require that here. So I hope I'm clear. Any questions till now? Any because now I'll be navigating into a niche that will be blockchain technology, because blockchain is something that everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to become a blockchain law expert, so as to say. But yeah, any questions till now? I can take a couple questions. If not, we can, continue. No one? Nothing? So everyone's clear with what I just said? Looks like you guys are. Awesome. I would request to please put in your question on the Q&A box. Don't raise your hands. I mean, if you want to talk, we'll do that towards the end. Please put in your questions in the Q&A box. And if there is an issue, guys, you just use the chat box. Awesome. Thanks, Sarchin Thong and Mohammed. Thank you so much. Guys, I really like that somebody is using the chat box. Please use the chat box if I ask something, because in a way, I don't want to be speaking to the screen. I want to feel that I'm speaking with real people here, that, okay, there are real people behind that side of the screen. Great. Thanks, Anupriya. Thanks, Rupali. Great. Sorry, I went too fast. I'm really sorry. Just give me a second. All right. Now, my favorite part of today's webinar, blockchain. What is a blockchain technology? We have a full webinar on it. If you want to know the entirety of blockchain technology, I've given an hour and a half webinar only and only to make you guys understand what is blockchain, how does it work, and all. And if you're interested, I can send in the link of that webinar as well for those of you who are interested. But okay. I see a question coming in. That technology needs to be tech law experts as a lady. I'll be taking this question towards the end, Mosmi. Good question, however. But I'll be talking about this in the next few modules here. Awesome. So guys, blockchain is a way, it's called a distributed ledger technology. It's a kind of a distributed ledger technology. So imagine that there are many blocks that are attached together with no central entity on it. So each block has equal level of authority in it. So there's no one person or one central authority that is taking care of the chain. Like banks, there's one person. Blockchain is a distributed, imagine it like hundreds of computers attached to each other without no central computer here. But blockchain has many types, guys, and today's webinar is not about blockchain. There's private blockchain, public blockchain, consortium, hybrid, but I'm not going to talk about that. Apologize for that. But there is a webinar already on blockchain technology, so you can watch that later. But blockchain is, undermined. A lot of people think Bitcoin is blockchain, blockchain is Bitcoin. Guys, let me break a few, preconceived notions here today. So Bitcoin is a part of blockchain. So blockchain is the technology that lets Bitcoin happen. Blockchain is the technology that lets NFTs happen or smart contracts happen. I'll be talking about smart contracts later, but now I'm just focusing to give you a little example of how these technologies are working, right? So if you see Bitcoin, everybody knows what is a Bitcoin. You put in some cash, you get this digital, currency called cryptocurrency. I'm not going to get into the details of what is cryptocurrency. However, basically, cryptocurrencies are currencies that are cryptographically hashed. So there is an algorithm, there is a mathematical algorithm that is attached to every cryptocurrency. So imagine the moment you're buying a cryptocurrency, it has unique ID attached to it. And that unique ID would be unique from each other. And this is why only you and you have the access to a particular Bitcoin. But the difference between Bitcoin and NFTs are that the value of Bitcoin remains same. So if you're buying one Bitcoin and if X person is buying one Bitcoin, the value would be the same. But with NFTs, there's uniqueness. It's called non-fungible tokens. However, Bitcoins are in a way fungible tokens. So non-fungible tokens mean that the value of each NFT is different. I mean, the moment we put in, when an artist or any creator is creating an NFT, the value is different. Now, I've also added this small person here. So this person can also be interpreted as an avatar. Now, what is an avatar? So as you know, have transitioned from Web 1 to Web 2, and we've been in Web 2 for a while now. Now we are transitioning into Web 3, where internet would be using blockchain technology. So internet will be using a distributed ledger technology where the power will be not central anymore. The power will be distributed. There will be more transparency. There will be more usage of blockchain, but it's still on its early stages. I would say it's still raw. There are so many scams happening. There are so many concerns happening. Now I'm going to take example of Web3. What happens? So anyone who creates an avatar on Web3, like, there is, if I take example of Forever 21, it's a shopping brand, but they have started their showroom on Web3. So you can be in your, avatar and go shop there, but you will be using like a virtual reality sort of a gear, or an augmented reality sort of a gear or something to navigate yourself into the Web3. Lot of tech companies are coming on Web3. Louis Vuitton is on Web3. There's Prada coming on Web3. So these big brands have started started inculcating the buzz within their organizations as well. But what about the ethics? Now I'm going to give you a very small example. So recently, Meta has, as you all know, Meta is Facebook. It has created its Web3 sort of a situation. And this woman was chilling using, this woman was chilling in her avatar on this augmented or virtual reality called Web3. And she was groped by a group of men. Apologize if, this in a way hurts anyone's sentiments or triggers anyone. But this happened. This woman was groped, not physically, but within the space of Web3. So she actually witnessed that there were 4 men in their avatars who groped her and assaulted her. Let me ask you guys a question. Yeah, guys, I'll be sharing the links for those of you who showed interest, but I'll be sharing that there is a way in which I will be sharing the link to the blockchain technology webinar. But yeah, this is a question for you. Do you think that this is a legal issue? This women getting groped or getting sexually assaulted on the Web3? Is it a legal matter? I'm not going to give too much detail about Web3, but Mohammed, Web3 is based, think of it as an augmented or virtual reality or an internet or the web which we are navigating into using blockchain technology. So this type of web will be using blockchain technology. Like everything will be distributed. But Mohammed, if you're interested, I can share some resources with you post-webinar. Again, there is a way. So I'm getting a lot of yeses. It's a legal matter. Why is it a legal matter? Anyone who wishes to attempt? You can unmute yourself. Just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Just raise your hand if you want to answer. Why is it a legal matter? Let me see. Okay. Go ahead, Mosmi. You have to unmute yourself.
So I wanted to say that even though there is no physical harm, but still it can come under the ambit of cybercrime because there will be mental and psychological harm caused by it.
Wow. Well, actually, that's true. Thank you so much for your answer, Mosmi. Do you wish to add anything?
Not really.
Okay, great. Guys, this was the most accurate answer. And of course, I'm getting a lot of accurate answers on the chart here. Mental injury, defamation, someone's rights, IT Act, etc., sexual assault, crime, whatever. Guys, yes and yes. Now, the only issue that comes in the picture is what about the jurisdiction? The whole idea of Web3 is to have like no borders at all. Like these engineers are thinking that when Web3 will come in, there will be no borders. Like for cryptocurrency, if you see Bitcoin, the whole intention of Bitcoin was that there is a uniformity. Doesn't matter what part of the world you are from, the value of Bitcoin is the same. I own 10 Bitcoins in India, and this X person owns 10 Bitcoins in the US, the value is same, unlike dollar or rupees. Similarly, for Web3, they want that there is no barrier attached to it. Like if any operations are happening on the Web3 space, people can get hired irrelevant where they live, irrelevant how they look like, irrelevant how their language is. If you're skilled enough, you meet the right organization, then you can work in the Web3 space. But what are the how will you check the jurisdiction? A, if the crime happens, what jurisdiction applies to? What country's jurisdiction applies to? Because if this person is from the UK, the company, the space where they were chilling is in France. The few men were from Nigeria, few men were from the US, few men were from India. How many jurisdictions will be applied? A. B. What kind of laws would be applied? C. Who will be, I mean, accountable? Is there a police on Web3? Is there a court for Web3? How will courts react to it? How will you explain these courts that, okay, what happened here? First of all, you have to explain them what is Web3. Excuse me. So there are so many legal issues coming in, as you can see. Of course, personal jurisdiction. But guys, the main issue is that, of course, the assault happens, but you guys know that if a crime is done in a home country, of course, the victim's country's laws would be applied. But what if this particular person says, I don't want to be extradited? How will you catch this person to come into your country? Let's say the victim lives in the UK and the assaulter was in the US. How will this person, like, will you apply extradition laws? And we can see that how well the extradition laws works. How will you explain? So this is where we need law. And law is very much juxtaposed, guys. Guys, I'm not talking about how jurisdiction can be traced. I am saying what jurisdiction will be applied and why it should be applied and what laws would be applied. How will the court react? Like, who? So the thing is, now I'm giving you a solution here. So we have used our minds enough. Now let's see what exactly are these Web3 companies are doing. So they're making internal policies. So what Facebook has done is, the moment they see anyone who is not following the community guidelines, like what they do for Facebook generally, so as for Web3 as well, what these companies have set in community guidelines or internal policies, where the moment something like this happens, you click the red button and this person will be barred from the Web3 space. And of course, check the identity of the person. Like, identity verification should be done, like, how we do for Paytm and UPI, what you call. Our identity has to be verified. So it's not like any and every person can land on Web3. So these these internal laws are being made by the Web3 companies. But who are making these laws? You guys, lawyers, legal counsel, policy makers, because you have good knowledge of law, you have good knowledge on how society should work. And guys, if you're choosing Web3 as a career, especially if you're choosing to be a legal Web3 professional, 10 years down the line, you might be giving several webinars like this, because you will be in demand. Maybe not today that much, but guys, start it. Like, maybe if you can get a couple freelance projects for Web3 and legal space, just do it, because you will be the first few people who are doing something actually in the Web3 legal space, because the companies need these people. If if these policies are not being made, if the community guidelines are not being made, the society would bar it. Like, I won't go on this particular Web3 platform if there are no pre-made guidelines or pre-made resolutions as well. So Meta has also started to give in a resolution, like a redressal mechanism as well, that if something like this happens, this is how you can address it, like how you do for social media. So you will be needed there. I'll be explaining like in which capacity can you be needed. But yes, this is what you can do. And Web3 has a lot of potential. NFT has a lot of potential. So has Bitcoin. You can work in a crypto exchange. You can, as you all can see, how WazirX is in big trouble because their documents were not full. And the language which the Mumbai Maharashtra police, or I think the cyber CBI, sorry, has used is accumulated together, Maharashtra police and the CBI, that The legal team of WazirX never and Binance never responded. Binance is also another exchange. So you see the intensity of legality needed in terms of these disrupting technology, especially for blockchain. Now it's becoming stricter day by day. So yeah, these are few technologies that you can explore, especially career wise. Getting into NFTs, you can protect the artist rights. You can get into intellectual. There was a webinar which we did on IPR and NFT. You can also see how you can add in your value. Like if you are good at intellectual property rights, like copyrights, patents, NFT can be your space. If you're good at technology law overall, Web3 can be your space. If you like finance, law, and technology, Bitcoin can be your space. Like not just Bitcoin, cryptocurrency as a whole can be your space, right? Awesome. Now, few things that you're needed. Now, what are the skill set that you're required? Number one is compliance. What is generally we're confused between compliance and due diligence. So for those of you who are in second or third year of law school, you must hear this one. So guys, compliance is very simple. Compliance are the set of rules and regulations that are put forward by the government or particular authorities that are mandated by the governing country where the operations of your organization are in. So these are your licenses, your policies, your registrations, anything and everything that involves government. So all this is compliance work. So as a legal technology professional, compliance should be your forte, because if a technology company is starting up, they reach out to you, they will be requiring you to do the compliance. Like, hey, I want to start a crypto exchange in India. I'm from UAE. What are the compliance procedures that I have to follow? So you have to see what are the compliance procedure. Compliance procedure means what are the mandates that are made by the government? What are the mandates that are made by the RBI? What are the mandates that are made by the banks? What are the directives you have to follow? What are the procedures you have to follow? What are the regulations you have to follow? So any and everything that is written somewhere, like, mandated by the government, mandated by a regulatory authority, is called compliance. Any confusion with what is compliance? Now I'm going to be giving you an idea of what is technology law compliance. Very simple. If you know the basics of how compliance works, the only added layer in technology law compliance would be to understand a little about technology as well. So let's say you have a client who has an artificial intelligence startup. Artificial intelligence has perhaps thousands of use cases, maybe more. You have to understand with them that what is their company doing, what is the intention, what is, see guys, the only thing that technology is made is to resolve us, to give a solution. Why is technology made? To make our lives easier and to give us a solution. So you need to understand what are they solving, what kind of problem are they solving. Like if your company is a blockchain based startup, and they are basically turning all the medical records on blockchain so that these medical records are safe and secure. So you need to ask them, like, what are you solving, what are you bringing in forward, what are you bringing to the table? And once you know the basics of technology and what is the solution this particular client is giving using their technology, you will be good at your compliance. Because guys, if you don't know that, there are small teeny tiny loopholes that are hidden behind those solutions. Like let's say this person said, yeah, I'm a blockchain based startup, can you see how I can start in India? You'll be like, yeah, but what are you doing? They're like, okay, I'll be using people's data that it can be protected in my blockchain based platform, everything will be good, everything will be safe and secure. Do you see another layer of technology coming in here, another legal issue coming in here called data privacy? So this is why you need to know that what is your client asking you, who is your client. Don't get into the details. You don't need to know. So here I can ask this question, I can answer this question, what Mosmi has said. So there are various languages that are used in engineering, like how we use English, French, Hindi, Punjabi, whatever, Spanish. In technology, there's C, there's C++, there's Java, Python, and this language is used to let technology happen. So this is the language of technology. Different types like Java, SQL, Python. You don't necessarily need to understand these languages. So, Mosmi, I hope your question is answered. But knowledge is never unused. If you are interested, if you are a tech nerd as well, go for it. But honestly, it's not required. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Great. So, this was compliance. Due diligence, my favorite part. People also get confused what is due diligence. Now, what is technology? I know few of you know what is due diligence. Due diligence is simply making sure that each and every document or piece of paper, whether physical or online, is valid, is legit. Nothing, whatever we are saying, whatever we are proposing has an explanation to it. Even if we are hiring a very small employee for 5 days, there should be a validation to where the money went. So when does due diligence happens mostly? As I told you, these small startups raise millions of dollars of funding. Okay. They get $6 million funds, $2 million fund. We often see this on LinkedIn, success stories, blah, blah, blah. Do you know they have to undergo 2 to 3 months of due diligence procedure where each and every document has to be tracked by the other company's lawyers. This other company is the company that is giving them the funds. So there are two levels of due diligence happening. So the startup, that is me, my legal team is working for me. They are making sure each and every document is legit. Each and every document has the right date, right details. It matches my accounts. So legal team and the accounts team and the finance team is sit together, matches all the documents so that not even a single rupee is left or right. And then it is presented to the person who is funding me. So their legal team, their accounting team, their finance team will also sit, check that all these funds are matching, all what they're saying, the timelines are matching, whatever they're proposing is actually matching. Not just that, I'll give you an example of this organization called Theranos. Anybody has heard about this? Theranos, Elizabeth uh, Holmes. Anyone who heard about this name, Elizabeth Holmes, Theranos? Anyone? No one? We have a good amount of people here. No one. So guys, Theranos was this organization. This is like this is like an example which I'm going to put here. So Theranos, anybody can read about Elizabeth Holmes. Company was Theranos. So the idea of company was that you don't need to undergo several blood tests. So basically, guys, people who are undergoing medical procedures, there are different kind of blood tests that has to go, and every now and then they're giving in their blood. So what Elizabeth Holmes said, that just with a drop of blood, all these medical tests can happen, but few medical tests requires sometimes even a bottle of blood as well. Again, apologies for people who might get triggered from this, but bear with me, guys, because this is why you need to understand where the due diligence comes in frame. So Elizabeth was proclaiming that she would use a drop of blood and take all the tests. But guys, she was failing. So a lot of people were given, and she became one of the most richest women in the US. She was there on Forbes magazine. She was top 30 under 30. She was meeting Barack Obama, Joe Biden, meeting one of the biggest people in the country, became almost a celebrity. But the funding which she was getting, when in the end, when the due diligence happened, she was never able to prove her thesis. She was all wrong. And her value from, I think, $6 billion went to zero. Now, what did the legal team, what lacked in the legal team of these funders? So people gave a huge amount of funding in millions and billions of dollars. What did they lack? Due diligence. They never checked what Elizabeth was presenting, what Elizabeth's lawyers were presenting to her. They took it as it is. They didn't take it seriously. This is why, if your client is a company that is your client is an investor, they give you these documents of the startup, and one document you miss out, you are wasting the entirety of the investment your client has made. This is why due diligence is important. So guys, difference between due diligence and compliance means due diligence is internal, compliance is in a way external. External means whatever the government has mandated, but due diligence are companies' internal documents like employee contracts, thesis, the technology. So these engineers who are working behind these technology startups, they give a solution, right? So you need to prove in something as well, right? So yeah, that is the difference between due diligence and compliance. And again, the only thing that you need to know for technology, being a technology law expert, is that you're understanding the basic of technology. So even these lawyers who don't know a thing about technology, they are not, doing really well on due diligence, because if you don't know the basics of technology, then your technology due diligence will be in vain. And this is why Theranos got good money for so many years without getting caught. But when one right lawyer came in, when he saw or she saw or they saw that, okay, this is not matching up, the technology is not matching up, she was never able to prove that she is able to do test with one drop of blood. She's misleading people, misrepresenting people. Hence, the due diligence was made and she was caught. Hope it makes sense, everyone. So this section, skills, smart contracts, we'll be pausing here for a moment. Okay, any questions till now? Awesome. So guys, now is the surprise here. Just give me a second. Can everyone see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Awesome, guys. So guys, this is the surprise. Loctopus Law School brings in technology law course. Don't go anywhere because the webinar has not yet ended. So we have presented this beautiful course on technology laws for you. The batch has started. However, there is no live session or no orientation happened yet. So what is technology law? I've been talking about technology law for a while now. So indeed, it's an interesting field. It is booming. It is skyrocketing. There's so many industries coming in. Many sectors are opening it, whether it's banking, Google, Meta, ICICI, RBC, whatever. Any and every bank, any and every company are becoming a technology company. And hence, technology law is catching up, right? Now, just let me go on the next slide. Now, what will happen during the technology law courses? So guys, there are many legislations already existing in India, which we don't know about. So we'll be covering that in the course. Fintech regulations, cryptocurrency regulations, how does privacy and data protection works? What is GDPR for those of you who are privacy law nerds? E-commerce, liability of intermediaries, content moderation, regulation of telecommunication, media and entertainment law, emerging technologies like IoTs, blockchain, AR, VR, metaverse, NFT. And guys, I personally teach this course, so I can tell you this course is huge. As I said, I've done my master's in law and technology from Canada, so I try to inculcate and bring in my exposure of what I learned at the university to India, because I know in India, in conventional law schools, this is a topic which nobody really, teaches. Very few law school does. Good for you if your law school is. But guys, this is a small, and the price which it is offered for, it's nothing. When you start earning, it might not be even 0.1% to what you will be earning once you're done with the course and look for the rules. The best part about technology law roles are that they're highly in demand, and they're good paid as well. Like the starting salary of junior technology legal counsel starts from 40 to 50,000 rupees in India, and it goes up till 2-3 lakhs. And big companies, there's Microsoft, Google, Meta opening their offices in India. So it's a great course, guys. But for those of you who are interested in media and entertainment law as well, we teach that as well. So we try to cover all arenas of technology law so that you can pick your niche. Like once you're done with the course, you can make up your mind, okay, I want to be a privacy expert. Okay, I want to be a fintech expert, or I want to be a blockchain law expert, or I want to be a media and entertainment law expert. So it's a very interesting course, guys. And it's completely online. So the whole agenda of Loctopus Law School is you're carrying your law school. There will be 8 text-based modules. There will be live sessions every week by the experts. So one live session per week. There'll be also a practical live session where a media and entertainment lawyer will explain you different facets of how a media and entertainment law contract looks like. There will be one assignment where you will be acting like a legal tech expert so that your practice can start within during the course. I also do a career planning session in the course, which is very, very niche. I mean, of course, I'll be doing a little in this webinar, but I am bounded by the time in this webinar, but I'm not bounded by the time during my live sessions. So you get to meet the faculty. I'm the faculty. There's a Shan Banerjee, who is a media and entertainment lawyer working at Nayak and Nayak. And it's a great course. I mean, it's very interesting. And just for today, this was the surprise, guys. If you're enrolling for this course today, you can get 15% discount. So use the code NFT15 and you can get the 15% discount. So you can screenshot this perhaps, everyone. I'll write it down on the group as well, NFT15 code. So you can save it somewhere maybe. I'll be sharing another thing so that you don't, even if you miss out saving this somewhere, I'll guide you through the process. Now, guys, webinar certificates, anybody who wants like a small certificate, I'll share this particular link on the chat box in a while, but you can note down this code. Anybody who's looking forward to take the certificate for this webinar, you can use the code LLS Technology Law. All right. So guys, those of you who are interested to, who are interested to enroll for the course, you might not be sure right now. You might not be sure till midnight, but if you make up your mind tomorrow or day after tomorrow, please fill in this expression of interest forms. Also, if you are interested to get free resources from Loctopus Law School, I'll be sending the link of our previous webinars, some blogs I follow, maybe a few job opportunities as well, the NFT webinar as well. You can just fill in the EOI form. So guys, this code will be valid till midnight. But if you see this form right here, this one, the expression of interest form, if you fill this particular form today, like right now, then you will be getting, then, we can try to activate this code for you for future as well, like for at least 4 or 5 days as well. Because honestly, this code will be expired tonight. So for those of you, however, who are filling this expression of interest form, you will be getting the access for, another 3-4 days as well. And even if, even if you cross the 3-4 days mark, you still will be, entitled for the code later on maybe, but we'll have to activate it. But to activate it, we need your information today. So it's up to you guys also. For those of you who are interested for the course and those of you who were interested for the free resources, please fill in this form right now. I'll give everyone 2 to 3 minutes to fill in the form. All right. Please fill in this form, everyone. Do you want me to share the link again? Here. And I'll be sharing the webinar certificate link towards the end, like around 8:25-ish. I'll share the webinar certificate code as well. But meanwhile, I want you to focus and fill this EOI form right here. Take 2 to 3 minutes. I'll be here. Meanwhile, you also, those of you who are not interested, for the course or free resources, you can start using the Q&A box perhaps. So Dawn, I mean, you can check out the price later on, but I don't want to commit because I personally am not aware exactly how the price looks like. But if you see the EOI form, I have attached a link to the course. What course content was covered today? Just wanted to understand if something critical was missed on the starting day. Neil, I'll share the recording with you. It will be uploaded very soon on YouTube as well. Keep an eye. But if you're interested, fill in the EOI form and we'll share the recording with you later on. Generally, we do, after the webinar, 2-3 days after the webinar, especially for people who missed this webinar, we try to share in the recording. But don't worry, nothing, of course, it was much of a chat going on initially. But guys, fill in the EOI forms or you're not interested, so use the Q&A box. And for those of you who may have done the course, just you can use the Q&A box. I think there are a few people here who have already done the course. Use the Q&A box, Arif. Put this question on Q&A box. I'll wait for another minute, guys. The best part about filling this expression of interest form is even if you're not ready to enroll for this batch, your data is with us so that we can reach out to you with the discount code for the next batch, which starts in December or January. In December, I believe. But make sure you're filling the form first. So I'll attach the form here for the last time. And guys, it's not just this course, generally we send in the coupon codes, the scholarship. If you're, let's say, if you're not interested for this course, you're interested for any other course, you can still fill in the EOI form. And even if you're not interested for the course, you're just interested for the free resources, just fill in the form. Great. Awesome. Let me share my screen again. So guys, I'll be very quick with the smart contracts part now. Okay. First of all, what are the basics? As you can see here, there's a woman, there's a man, and they're doing everything all together. Of course, it is required from you. You need to have, apart from what I just told, due diligence, compliance, I'll be giving a step-by-step understanding. Number one, basic understanding of technologies. Number two, deep understanding of laws. Number three, deep understanding of technology laws. Number four, good understanding of contracts, like how you can draft contracts. Number five, good understanding on how to draft policies as well. Then communication, good personality, be confident. These are few skills which definitely you will be required apart from all this. So if I go smart contracts, so smart contracts are basically contracts that are basically used by the blockchain technology. So here code is the law. So whatever the terms and conditions of the agreement or the contract are they are put into a code. So in a way, the moment the code is broken, the contract will be broken. So this is why it's a very rigid contract. Not a lot of organizations use it because contracts should be a bit flexible for a lot of organizations, but a lot of tech startups are actually inculcating using smart contracts because it's legit, it's sound, it's secure thanks to the blockchain technology. And if you want to have deep understanding of smart contracts, either you can look the webinar, you can also enroll for the course. I give a good session on what are smart contracts. Then technology contracts are very simple. Why I gave in two hands here. So a lot of these organizations hire people to give in service. Like, let's say I'm a tech company, but I don't know how to make a website. No, I mean, I'm a coder. That doesn't mean I know how to make a website. So there are, technology service contracts where whatever this person has built in for me, it will be confidential to that person and they cannot spill the beans, meaning they cannot forward my ideas or my creativity or my USPs to another person. If they do, they're breaking the contract. So the terms and conditions, so generally an NDA called non-disclosure agreement is also added in technology contracts most of the times, so that this particular person to which you took the service from is not taking your intellect or is not taking away whatever you made with the company and sharing with others. Like, trade secrets, here you can call it technology secrets, right? So this is what technology contracts are. So Mohammed, major difference between The normal and smart contracts are smart. Normal contracts are normal. I mean, you put in a sign, it's done. Smart contracts are encoded by the law. Blockchain technology is attached, and that's why I'm saying look the blockchain law, look the blockchain basics of blockchain webinar done by me. But mostly the major difference is that in smart contracts, that is why they're smart. The moment one particular obligation or terms or condition is not met, the contract is invalid. It won't be valid till all the terms and conditions are met. All right. And technology contracts. So, guys, that is what. And another skill that you need is policy making. So, a lot of these privacy companies are hiring people, to be policy makers for them. As I told you, even for Web3, you can make internal policies, community guidelines, privacy policies, company guidelines in general, etc., etc. So, these are few skills that you need, guys, to be a technology law expert. I'll repeat myself again. You may note this down. You may note this down here. Basics of technology, good understanding of law, deep understanding of technology laws, good understanding of contracts. Fifth would be deep understanding of compliance procedures, then deep understanding of due diligence procedures. You're doing everything actually. You need to have good understanding of policy as well, guys, because these companies do not have time to hire 10 different kind of lawyers, nor do they have the budget. If they're giving you about 1 lakh to 2 lakhs per month, they expect you to do all kind of work. Of course, don't overburden yourself, but these are few requirements or few prerequisites that are expected of you. All right. Now let's do the Q&A and a career planning round. So career planning round would be in a way of Q&A. So anybody who has career related issues, career related guidance you need, please use the Q&A box. I think I have 2 questions already on the Q&A box. Any question you have related to the webinar as well, just use the Q&A box. Awesome. So I'll just start taking the questions. Yashaswini, I think your question is related to Web3 jurisdiction thing. Is it? Can you just write a yes or no on the chat if you're still here? Okay. So Yashaswini, what happens is if you go on Web3, if one person is getting assaulted and they are from UK, XYZ person assaulted this person, and someone is from US, someone is from Nigeria, someone is from India. Now, of course, this person who got assaulted would file a report in their home country. That is their jurisdiction. So laws of their country would apply. But what if these 3 people claim otherwise? Like, what about their countries? Like, will their jurisdiction also apply? Now, this platform, this Web3 platform was operating in UAE, which is a different jurisdiction. So just so that so many jurisdictions would come in, if these cases started going to the courts, that is why internal redressal mechanism has to be made in the Web3 platforms. Not just Meta, but most Web3 platforms are doing it. They are struggling on it because they're not able to find good lawyers. Excuse me. Sorry. So they are struggling on it. They're still on their initial states. But yeah, I mean, this is why they don't want to go, they don't want to face that kind of issue. So they're trying to resolve this internally only. All right. Arif says, how good is India? I can't talk about cyber law. We're talking about technology law here today. So I'm not an expert of cyber law here. But guys, any question related to technology law, today's webinar, please guys use Q&A box. Don't use the chat box. I'm not going to see chat box for questions. Please use the Q&A box, everyone. Guys, nobody's interested to build career in this. No question. Mohammed has a great question. Apart from Web3, how a person can make their career in surface web or technology layer? You mean lawyer? Okay. First is if you're a law student, start interning. Don't look at the stipend for now, I would say, because these are new startups. They might not give you a lot. But guys, if you translate into future, if you see that, like, let's say you get hired as an intern by this organization in the US, they're not paying you a lot. But if you have that on your resume and 2 years down the line, you're applying for a technology law counsel position or technology product counsel position, you will be given preference because they see, oh, this person has an experience. They're not going to ask you how much stipend you got, how much money did you make. They're going to ask you what are your skills, what did you learn. You'll say, oh, I learned due diligence, I learned technology law contracts, I can do compliance, I can do XYZ. So that's what I'm saying. This is if you can intern well. Next is LinkedIn is a pool of jobs. Work on your LinkedIn. Don't put open to hire. Tech companies don't like people with negative attitudes. Have a positive attitudes. Make a good LinkedIn. Connect. You can connect with me as well. My name is Ashna Sethi again. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Make sure you have a good, because these HRs, if you're applying for a job through LinkedIn, they'll definitely look at your profile. And if they find a very random DP where you're smiling and it's a selfie, unfortunately, they're not going to prefer you. And if you have put open to hiring means, they'll see, oh, this person is unemployed, I'm not going to hire this person. These tech companies don't want an unemployed person. They want a person who is doing something, because tech people are doing 10 things at one time. So they want a like-minded person only. All right. Next is do a course. Like as I said, you can do a technology law course with us, Mohammed. And if this is something that doesn't interest you, you can just look for, I mean, I don't know, free courses or free resources online. But yeah, I hope this answer your questions, but this can take me forever to answer. This is a very niche and narrowed down answer, which I just given. Tanya has a question. Is there a wide difference between the process of due diligence and compliance practice in India as compared to the foreign nations, US, UK, and Canada? I can talk about Canada. There's not much. Honestly, due diligence and compliance procedures work almost in a similar way, but I'm not a corporate lawyer. I'm a technology law educator and professional. So I recommend what you can do, Tanya, is connect with corporate lawyers or commercial lawyers in UK, US, and Canada and ask them that. Like, what tools are you following? I know there are a lot of technology tools that these people or these lawyers are using so that due diligence or compliance can be quicker. All right. Mohammed has a question. Best way to get an internship, ma'am, can you suggest other than LinkedIn or Loctopus? Search yourself, put in Google internships, put in Google careers, Meta careers, Netflix careers, Prime career section. I personally really like doing this. If I see a very fancy, nice startup, I just look at their career section just to explore what they're looking for. So keep your eye always, Mohammed. After being so Searching Thong has a question. After being an expert in technology, is there no scope in normal courts? Why not? You can do litigation any time of the year. I mean, it's up to you whether you want to make. I generally don't like to put my feet in two boats. So pick yourself a niche. Whether you want to get into technology, you can get into technology law litigation as well. Who says that litigation won't come when it comes to technology law? But it won't come very sooner. It won't be very common. So you might not earn as much as your colleagues who are in criminal law or corporate law, commercial arbitration, etc., earning. All right. Mosmi, please suggest some firms working on tech law aspects and put out internship job opportunities frequently. I work as a educator. However, I can take this as a suggestion and feedback for the Loctopus content team as well. But for sure, Mosmi, but keep an eye. We generally do this. We generally keep posting these opportunities on our website. But Mosmi, honestly, if you're looking for free resources, I'll be also preparing a list of law firms that you can work in India. Please fill in the EOI form, the expression of interest form. Here's the link again. There's still a chance you can fill the form. Neil has a question. How does this course synchronize between technology law versus technology policy on Web3? I don't. So guys, so Neil, honestly, if you know technology law, Web3 law, it's not very different. Technology law, Web3 is a part of technology law. And when I say policy, if you understand technology law, and if you know the basics of how you can draft a policy, then becoming a policy maker in technology law won't be difficult. But you need to know the basics. The only issue with our generation or with people on LinkedIn are they just want to do everything in one day, but you can't do everything in one day, right? So guys, I'll be taking one last question now. It's almost time. Mohammed has a question. What do you think IT lawyers is better than technology lawyer? Guys, I'm not going to answer this question. I have huge respect for IT lawyers as well. I personally can vouch for technology law as a career. But if you have interest in IT law, sky is the limit. With this, thank you so much for attending this webinar. As I mentioned, you can also get a certificate for the webinar. You can, there are, if let's say, if you don't want to fill the EOI form right now, you can fill in the EOI form later. This is the document which I recommend everyone. Please click on it and save it somewhere on your laptops. I'll give everyone a minute. Okay. Say 31. I'll give you guys till 8:32, but I'll give in my closing monologue. Everyone who were here from starting from beginning towards the end, well, you might be the future legal tech pioneer of the country. And I hope not just in India, but you can make a mark in US, Canada, Europe, everywhere in the world. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. I would be happy to connect with you for coffee chats, of course, virtual coffee chats or physical coffee chats, maybe. But try to be active on LinkedIn as well. Please add me, everyone. I can share in my profile. Are you guys interested to connect with me on LinkedIn? I can share in my profile. Yeah, I mean, great, great, awesome. And guys, still I'm sharing my profile with all of you. I request you all to, never be, never be scared to try this area of law, especially if you're first generation lawyers. Don't be scared, because if you're a first generation lawyer, chances are there are not, majority of lawyers in technology law are first generation lawyers. Trust me, majority people, because it's a new field. Many conventional lawyers are not able to take pace with this, because the issue with this generation that has gone back is that they are very strict, they're very stubborn. But our generation is very flexible. We want to learn new things, we want to learn new technologies. Like I'm using these AirPods here. We like experimenting. So can you. But don't be afraid. Apply for roles, apply for internships, jobs. Don't be scared. Oh, I can't apply at Apple. I've done my law from a very random college in India. Who will accept me? If you have the right skill set, if you have the right confidence and trust in you, of course you can get that role. So I hope that this webinar was in a way, in some way, helpful for you, productive for you. And please stay connected. Let me know if anybody has any questions. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can email us at courses@loctopus.com. I hope to see few of you in my classes or in my course. And have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.